Emma Carter pulled her jacket tighter as the cold October wind swept through the empty streets of Chicago. Her shift at the diner had ended later than usual, and the city looked different after midnight. Darker, quieter, almost unfamiliar. The glow of streetlights reflected off the wet pavement from the evening rain, and the sound of her footsteps echoed through the silence. She checked her phone. 11:47 p.m. Her bus had already stopped running. Perfect, she whispered under her breath. Emma was 22, working 2 jobs while attending nursing school during the day. Life had never been easy, but she carried herself with quiet determination. Her mother used to tell her, "The world can be cruel, but don't let it make you cruel too." Emma tried to live by those words. She walked faster, clutching her backpack tightly. Her apartment was only 15 blocks away. That's when she heard it. Footsteps, not hers. At first she ignored them. Chicago was a busy city, people walked everywhere. But after 2 blocks the footsteps remained, steady, deliberate, matching her pace. Her heartbeat quickened. She glanced behind her casually. A man in a dark hoodie, tall, hands in pockets, face hidden. The moment he noticed her looking, he slowed down slightly. Emma's stomach tightened. She turned the corner quickly, hoping to lose him. But seconds later, the footsteps returned. Closer now. She grabbed her phone and pretended to call someone. "Hey, Dad," she said loudly, though her father had passed away 3 years earlier. "Yeah, I'm almost home. You're outside? Great." The footsteps paused for a second, then continued. Emma's throat went dry. She knew fear. She'd grown up in rough neighborhoods, learned how to stay alert, how to avoid danger. But something about this felt wrong. The street was nearly empty. A few closed shops lined the sidewalk. No cars passed, no lights in the apartment windows nearby. She crossed the street. So did he. Now panic settled into her chest like ice. Her mind raced. Should she run, scream, knock on a stranger's door? But fear can paralyze people in strange ways. Emma kept walking, faster now, trying not to cry. Then she noticed something else. Across the street, sitting near a bus stop bench, was an old man wrapped in a faded green army coat. Beside him sat a shopping cart filled with blankets and cans. His gray beard looked untrimmed, and a knit cap covered most of his head. Homeless, Emma thought immediately. The man looked up as she passed. His tired eyes moved from her frightened face to the hooded man behind her. And suddenly, the old man stood. "Emily." Emma stopped. The old man smiled warmly as if he recognized her. "There you are," he said loudly. "I've been waiting for you." Emma blinked in confusion. "My granddaughter always gets lost," he continued, walking toward her naturally. "Come here, kiddo." For a split second, Emma didn't understand. Then she realized he was pretending. The hooded man slowed down behind them. The old man stepped beside Emma protectively. Up close, she noticed the medals pinned quietly to his old coat. A veteran. He asked softly under his breath. Emma swallowed hard and nodded faintly. The hooded man stared at them for several tense seconds. Then, without a word, he turned around and disappeared into the darkness. Emma finally exhaled. Her knees nearly gave out. The old man gently guided her to the bench. "Sit down before you faint," he said kindly. Tears filled Emma's eyes instantly. "Thank you," she whispered shakily. I think he was following me." "I know," the man replied calmly. For a moment, neither spoke. The city noise returned slowly. Distant sirens, passing trains, the hum of life continuing somewhere far away. The old man said, "Emma." He nodded. "You remind me of my daughter." Emma looked at him more closely now. Despite his rough appearance, there was dignity in the way he carried himself. His hands were weathered but steady. "You served?" she asked, noticing the medals again. "Vietnam," he answered simply. Emma hesitated before asking the question sitting heavily in her heart. "How did you end up out here?" Walter smiled sadly. "Same way most people do. One bad year turns into another. Wife got cancer. Medical bills took the house. Daughter moved away after losing her mom. Haven't seen her in years." Emma didn't know what to say. She suddenly felt ashamed of the assumptions she'd made only minutes earlier. To her, he had been just another homeless man on the street. invisible. But this invisible man had just protected her when no one else was around. Walter noticed her expression and chuckled softly. Life humbles people, kid. Emma looked down at his thin gloves and worn shoes. Aren't you cold? Always, he joked. For the first time that night, Emma laughed a little. Then her face grew serious again. Do you have somewhere safe to sleep tonight? Walter shrugged. Shelter's full most nights. Emma stared at him for a long moment. Most people would have thanked him and left, but something inside her wouldn't allow it. Maybe it was her mother's voice. Maybe it was the realization that kindness had just saved her life. Or maybe humanity simply works best when compassion gets passed from one soul to another. Come with me, Emma said suddenly. Walter frowned. What? My apartment isn't much, but I have a couch. It's warm. Oh no, Walter said quickly. You don't owe me anything. I know, Emma replied softly. I want to. Walter looked stunned. People walked past him every day pretending he didn't exist. Some avoided eye contact entirely. Others treated him like a problem instead of a person. But this young girl, scared and exhausted, was offering him shelter, not out of pity, out of gratitude, out of humanity. Tears quietly formed in Walter's eyes, though he tried hiding them. You sure? Emma nodded. That night, Walter slept indoors for the first time in nearly 8 months. But the story didn't end there. Over the following weeks, Emma helped Walter contact a local veteran support organization. They assisted him in getting temporary housing, medical care, and eventually reconnecting with his estranged daughter in Milwaukee. The reunion happened 2 months before Christmas. Emma never forgot the look on Walter's face when his daughter hugged him for the first time in years. It was the expression of a man who thought the world had forgotten him, suddenly realizing it hadn't. A few days later, Walter handed Emma a small folded note before leaving for his new apartment. Inside were simple words written in shaky handwriting. You were afraid that night, but you still chose kindness. That's courage. The world needs more people like you. Years later, Emma became a nurse exactly as she had dreamed. But no matter how many patients she cared for, one lesson stayed with her forever. Sometimes the people society overlooks are the very ones carrying the deepest humanity. And sometimes, when darkness follows you home, hope appears from the most unexpected place imaginable.